My name is Roseanne Rose Whitaker, 70 years old last March, and for 37 years, this pale blue two-story house on Rosewood Lane in the small city of Asheville, North Carolina, has been my sanctuary. I bought it in 1988 with the final payment from my career as a pediatric nurse at Mission Hospital. Every double shift in the NICU, every holiday worked, every lunch skipped to save for the mortgage. My husband Thomas and I raised our daughter, Sophia, here. We carved pumpkins on the front steps each October, strung fairy lights across the porch for her high school graduation, and sat together on the swing bench watching autumn leaves drift into the yard until Thomas's heart gave out 9 years ago. The silence afterward was deafening. The house felt too big, the bedrooms too empty. When Sophia, now 44, and her husband Ryan showed up at my door 2.5 years ago with their son Lucas, then 13, and daughter Harper, then 10, faces drawn and suitcases heavy, I opened the door wide. "Mom, the landlord sold our duplex," Sophia explained through tears. "Ryan's construction jobs are seasonal. We just need a year, maybe less, to stabilize." I hugged them all, made hot cocoa, turned the guest room and Thomas's old study into bedrooms. For the first month, it felt like medicine, the house alive with footsteps, laughter, the smell of teenage sneakers and shampoo. Then the medicine turned bitter. It began innocently enough. "Mom, can you drop Lucas at basketball practice? Ryan's on a job site." Then, "Groceries are brutal right now. Your checks come regular, right?" My combined Social Security and pension, $2,480 monthly, soon covered the property taxes, still low thanks to my senior exemption, water, electricity, gas, internet, Ryan's work truck fuel, Harper's art supplies, Lucas's new basketball shoes, Sophia's weekly acupuncture for tension headaches. Sophia, one crisp November afternoon, placed a printed sheet on the kitchen counter while I stirred soup. "We need a system, Mom," she said brightly, as if suggesting a new recipe. "This keeps everything fair and predictable." I wiped my hands on a dish towel and read. 5:40 a.m. Rise. Brew coffee, Ryan. 11 p.m. Lights out in rear bedroom. Small print at bottom. Your retirement funds cover core household operating costs. We prioritize rebuilding our emergency fund for future independent housing. After 30 months continuous residency and in-kind contributions to property care, we have established protected occupancy interests under North Carolina law. We prefer to handle matters privately and lovingly within the family. My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. "Sophia," I managed, "this is my house. I bought it. I paid for it." She nodded like a patient teacher. "I know, Mom. That's exactly why we're doing this, so you don't have the stress of managing everything alone. You're not working anymore. We are. It's just organization." Ryan walked in from the garage, wiping grease from his hands. "Problem?" Sophia smiled at him. "Mom's looking over the schedule. She'll see it makes sense." I stared at my daughter, the girl I'd bandaged knees for, stayed up with through fevers, worked extra shifts to send to college. And if I say no? Ryan shrugged casually. "We checked with someone. Long-term family residents get certain protections here. We're not trying to be harsh. We just need things stable for Lucas and Harper." The words were gentle. The meaning was steel. That night, they reassigned me to the narrow back bedroom, the one with the slanted ceiling and single window facing the alley. "It's closer to the washer-dryer," Sophia explained helpfully. "Easier for early loads." My bedroom, the one Thomas and I shared, where we'd whispered dreams and held each other through losses, became theirs. My oak dresser went to the garage. Their platform bed with storage drawers arrived the next weekend. Lucas and Harper adjusted seamlessly. "Grandma, can you sign my field trip form?" "Grandma, Harper spilled paint. Can you get it up?" They weren't rude. They were kids, raised to expect service from the adults who never said no. Sophia and Ryan began scheduling more recharge time. Friday night dinners out, paid from my account, weekend rentals in the mountains to reconnect. I stayed home, cooking for the kids, cleaning up after sleepovers, driving to piano recitals and soccer games. My money evaporated. I delayed my annual mammogram, bought store-brand arthritis cream instead of name-brand, skipped the podiatrist for my aching feet. Then, Sophia's father-in-law, Victor, arrived one January morning with a duffel bag and a cough. Bag and a cough. Ryan said I could crash here till my condo's ready after the flood damage, he announced. Won't be long. Victor had preferences. Black coffee only, eggs sunny side up, no noise before 9 a.m., thermostat is 68 degrees exactly. He complained constantly. These chairs are too hard. The Wi-Fi drops. Someone should call the provider. You really ought to replace that old carpet, Roseanne. He took over the den as his space, rearranged my photo albums to make room for his fishing magazines. One afternoon, I came home from the pharmacy, $67 for my refill, and found Victor in my sewing nook sorting through Thomas's old tool chest like it was trash. Most of this is rusted, he said. I'll take what's useful to my storage unit. I snatched the box from his hands and carried it upstairs to my cramped room. Something inside me clicked into place, like a lock finally turning after years of jamming. I called my old nursing friend Carla, now an advocate with a local senior center. Rose, this is elder financial abuse. Textbook, she said firmly. Get legal help today. She gave me attorney Miriam Patel's contact. Miriam specialized in protecting seniors from family exploitation. I booked a morning appointment, telling Sophia I had a women's club coffee, drove to a tidy office near downtown Asheville. Miriam listened for 45 minutes without interrupting. I cried once when describing the bedroom swap. When I finished, she spoke clearly. You hold fee simple title, no lease agreement, no rent paid. North Carolina law does not automatically grant tenancy to family members in rent-free, permissive arrangements, especially when exploitation is evident. Their actions meet criteria for financial abuse under state statute and federal elder protection guidelines. She laid out the path. Written notice terminating permissive use without conditions. Offer of continued residency, $1,300 monthly rent per adult, proportional share of utilities and taxes, no uninvited occupants, immediate restoration of owner's master suite and personal spaces. If refused, eviction filing through magistrate's court, plus referral to Adult Protective Services and possible financial fraud report. Fees for letters and consultation, $540. I paid from a small credit union account I'd opened secretly 18 months earlier. Miriam drafted everything by late afternoon. I set the 3 envelopes on the coffee table that evening after the kids finished homework. Sophia opened hers first. Her face went pale. Mom, a lawyer? Ryan read his, voice rising. 30 days to pay rent or get out. This is ridiculous. Victor blustered. I'm 72. You can't throw an old man onto the street. I kept my tone steady. You can stay if you accept the terms. Rent begins next month. Victor leaves in 14 days. He was never authorized. My bedroom returns to me tomorrow. No more access to my accounts. No more expectations of free labor or funds. They tried every lever. Disbelief? You're bluffing. Guilt? Sophia sobbed. The kids will suffer. Anger? Ryan yelled in the kitchen for an hour, called me ungrateful, controlling. Bargaining? $650 total rent? Threats? We'll fight it. We have residency rights after all this time. Miriam had prepared me. I documented every exchange. North Carolina is one-party consent for recordings. Victor left on day 13, grumbling, packing slowly, slamming the front door on his way to a cousin's place in Greenville. Sophia and Ryan scrambled for rentals. discovered $1,300 was roughly the amount they'd saved monthly by living expense-free in my home. The last week, they became unnaturally courteous. "Rose, thank you for the lasagna." "Rose, the yard looks nice." It stung more than the rudeness. Moving day was a chilly February Saturday. A gray rental truck filled the driveway. Neighbors peeked from windows. Harper hugged me so hard I felt her heartbeat. "I don't want to go, Grandma." Lucas whispered, "Will you still come to my games?" "Every other Saturday," I promised, "and whenever your parents say yes. I love you both more than words." Sophia loaded the final box, looked at me, eyes wet, jaw tight, and got into the van. Ryan drove away without looking back. The house went silent. I stood in the entryway, listening to the quiet settle like snow. Then I climbed the stairs, opened the master bedroom windows, breathed in cold mountain air laced with pine. I spent the afternoon moving my things back in, hung Thomas's wedding photo above the dresser, spread my favorite quilt across the bed, sat on the edge and let tears fall, not sorrow, but release. That first night, I slept without an alarm. No coffee to start at 5:40, no lunches to pack, just rest. 3 months later, I wake when my body says it's time, usually around 7:45. I eat eggs with spinach from my new kitchen herb pots. I read novels in the sunroom with tea. I joined a local quilting circle, started gentle yoga at the community center, planted daffodils along the walkway, yellow ones, Thomas's favorite. Lucas and Harper visit every other Saturday from 10 to 5. We make pancakes, read graphic novels, play Scrabble, walk to the park. No laundry, no homework battles, just grandma time. Sophia texts every few weeks, short updates. They rent a duplex 10 minutes away, pay their own way now. Sometimes she writes, "We miss you, Mom." I reply, "I miss the kids, but I don't miss disappearing in my own house." There are still evenings when the quiet aches, when I miss the illusion of family closeness, the sound of young voices. But there are far more days when gratitude washes over me, for the courage it took to stand up, for the lawyer who saw me as a person, not a resource, for the home that finally feels like mine again. At 70, I have learned the hardest truth. Love should never demand your disappearance. Family is not a blank check drawn on your dignity, and peace is worth fighting for, even against your own child. My house is small once more, one resident, but it is full of sunlight, of memories that comfort instead of wound, of space to breathe deeply, and that, I finally understand, is more than enough.